Welcome back to the show, everybody. Today I am in New York. This is day 3, and we are here doing the second phase on the Harold Feinstein shoot. And I will be honest, I wanted to put a video out pretty much every day that I was here, kind of chronicling some behind the scenes and how that was all going. And to be perfectly honest with you, first of all, it is extremely cold. And so sitting outside and shooting B-roll of things and all has just really not been top of my list. Second of all, recording in this room is, as you can see, makeshift lighting, and this light is attached to the stand here at the desk here, so it's really not able to be moved. So anyway, I haven't done as much as I wanted to do. Plus, I have had some preparation I've had to do for the shoot. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what I've been doing in New York and a little bit behind the scenes. And what I really wanted to do was put together for you guys, a big photography tour of New York. And I got a little overzealous with that. And as I mentioned, I don't know if I've said this yet, it is really cold here. So it got cut short today, and I got kind of sidetracked over at MoMA, at the Museum of Modern Art. They have a wonderful photography exhibition. It's going on right now, and the really cool thing about it is it really relates to a lot of the stuff that we've covered on the show over the last few months. And it concentrates on a new collection of photographs that they've purchased over the last few years. There's 300 photographs in this collection. It's the Thomas Walther collection, I believe. And it concentrates on a period of work between the First and Second World War. So a little bit broader, I think it's 1909 to 1949, but it's really interesting because it's a global collection and it covers a time in photography that was particularly fruitful, I think, in terms of innovation. It's actually pretty light on the pictorialist element of things, but it's got everything from Karl Blossfeldt to Alvin Langdon Coburn, who we've talked about on the show. There's a Martin Munchauchi piece that is right at the start of the exhibition. And so what I'm going to do is gather some thoughts on this, and I did shoot some B-roll at MoMA, and got some photographs you're allowed to shoot there, if it's collection related. And so I'm going to put those together, and we're going to talk about that a little more in depth on Sunday, because I want to get some thoughts together on that and talk about how it relates to a lot of the stuff that we've done on the show. And if you're in the New York area or can be here at all in the next couple months, I really recommend you see these photographs as a collection. It really is outstanding. The work is amazing, and just from a historical perspective, it really, everything I love about photography is represented in this show. And I went through twice. It was incredible. I took a break and went and saw some paintings and stuff and came back, and it was just mind-blowing. Also, I got some books while I was at MoMA, and I'm going to share these with you because I'm going to do some new episodes in the next couple of weeks when we get back to Dallas, back to the studio, and I don't have to shoot in here. But this first one is one I've been eyeing for a long time, and I haven't picked it up yet, and this is Saul Leiter, Early Black and White. And we've covered Saul Leiter several times on the show, and, known really more recently for this body of color work that was discovered in the 1990s. And Saul had a long career doing photojournalism. A lot of this is personal work, and it's the early black and white stuff. And this is a wonderful companion to the early color book that I have talked about on the show, and I'm really looking forward to diving into this. It is a 2-volume set, so it's not the cheapest thing in the world, but it is amazing. Basically, there's 2 books in here. This was done by Steidl in the Howard Greenberg Gallery, and we're interviewing Howard Greenberg tomorrow for the Harold Feinstein shoot, which is kind of cool. I might ask him about this while we're talking. But anyway, there's 2 volumes to this. The first one is basically interior, and volume 2 is exterior. And so it's a lot of people shots, a lot of street shots, and it's divided between interiors and exteriors. And I think it's a wonderful way of curating this volume of work. And so I've just kind of perused through here a little bit, and it is amazing. I think Saul Leiter was just a fantastic photographer, tremendous influence on me personally, and I think this book is really all the things that I love about Saul are in there. And even though it's not the color work, it's the black and white work, it's no less. The other book that I got, and this is, I've been trying to find a good Tina Modotti book. I mentioned her recently in the episode that we did on interpretations, and Tina was a fabulous photographer. Very interesting story. She was she started out as an actress, and after she met Edward Weston, she was his assistant and kind of his protege. And the two were romantically involved at one point. And so you see Tina as the subject in a lot of Weston's photos, and vice versa. She did portraits of Weston as well. She is represented in the collection I was just talking about that we're going to talk about on Sunday in the show. And I've been looking for a good book on her because I want to cover her on the show, and it's harder to find stuff. She's not totally obscure, but she's more obscure than a lot of people we do talk about on the show. But anyway, Tina is fabulous, and she was in the circle with Frida Kahlo and Diego Rivera, had moved to Mexico and kind of hung out with those folks. I have not seen the film, but she actually is portrayed by Ashley Judd in the movie that came out on Frida Kahlo a few years ago, and I've not seen it. I've heard mixed reviews. I would like to see it because it's a movement of art and a group of people that are particularly very interesting. You know, what was being done in Mexico at that time. Anyway, Tina is Italian, but she moved all over the place. Died at a fairly young age too, but anyway, I'm really interested in looking at her work, and I'm going to do a full artist bio on her as well. So anyway, so that's kind of where we are. You can see I had fun today. I also did some gallery hopping. And what's really cool, and I'll put together, I'm going to wait till later, but I think it would be cool to kind of put together, especially with major cities like New York, Boston, Chicago, or London, or, you know, some of the places that I've been that I'm familiar with galleries in. When you start going to galleries, it's a really inexpensive way to do something really cool. The great thing about New York is the galleries are kind of situated in neighborhoods. So if you're kind of near one, you're near several others, and you can go check them out. And so I basically went and saw Howard Greenberg's gallery today. They had a wonderful exhibition that was up, and I'll talk more about this later. The other neighborhood that those are Upper East Side, or kind of East Central Park, and then you can kind of go down towards Chelsea as you get into like 23rd Street, etc. on the west side. There's a whole bunch of galleries over there. The big ones being like Gagosian is a big one. I'm trying to think of the other ones. Aperture Gallery is down there. And so you can kind of concentrate on a neighborhood. Going to galleries is free, and museums aren't always free. Now, obviously, MoMA was $25 to get in, so it is definitely not free, but you get $25 worth with this exhibition that they've got right now. Plus, you can go see, you know, MoMA in New York has some very famous works in there. The Starry Night by Van Gogh is there. There's some huge water lily paintings that Monet did that they've got. Christina's World, if you're into Andrew Wyeth. So I just think from an overall art perspective, you know, I absolutely love photography, but I like to look at other things too. There's a great Dubuffet show that's going on right now as well, and so if you're into that kind of thing, you know, they have you covered. So you are going to get your money's worth with that. But if you're trying to do New York or a bigger city on the cheap, I think galleries are a great way to go. Plus, they're just fun to go to because you're going to see more you know, emerging names and cutting edge stuff depending on what the gallery is. So anyway, some awesome stuff, and I pretty much spent all day doing this. I kind of wore out at the point where I decided that it was just too cold to be hopping around too much, so I kind of stuck to one area of town where I could walk pretty easily. So anyway, so that's where we are. Tomorrow we're headed over to YouTube, and I did my orientation last night. The YouTube space is just amazing. Fully equipped. There are, gosh, 3 or 4 studios, and then really the cool part is everything in the space is set up for filming. So they're literally light rigs on the ceilings in just about every room. Even the bathrooms you can film in if you need a mirror shot or something. It really is just unbelievable what they put together. The YouTube studio is in Chelsea Market, and they have the entire 6th floor as you get towards the middle of that space. And it's awesome. We have the boardroom reserved, which is really nice. A lot of wood paneling, but not like this. Actually cool. And so I think it's going to work really great for the interviews that we're doing for the documentary. And I have 3 people that are helping me that are fans of the show, and so I'm really excited about meeting them and hanging out as well. And then on Sunday we're going to do our meetup, and I've decided we're going to do that at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. All the details are on theartofphotography.tv. I put them right on the homepage. Nita is in Brooklyn. It's easy to get to. They have food, they have drinks, and we'll kind of hang out from 4 to 7 and just talk shop and talk photography and whatever. So anyway, I'm very excited about all this. I am going to do another show coming up for Sunday that I'm going to release, and we're going to talk about the Thomas Welther collection that MoMA has acquired, and it really, there's a lot to talk about and a lot of cool stuff there, and I've got some photos we're going to work off of, so I'm able to kind of do that on the road here. So anyway, real quick, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor today, which are the awesome folks over at audible.com. If you're not familiar with audible.com, it is a bookstore for your ears. And if you're like me, you like to read, and you're also like me, and sometimes you don't always have time to be sitting with a book, like when you're traveling, like right now, or commuting. Doing audio versions of books is a wonderful way to stay up with the stuff that you like to read. And Audible, I really think what's interesting about them is that, you know, the whole audiobook has kind of emerged at this point into a genre unto itself. So what's really cool is that, you know, when the narration's good and when it's well produced, you know, it's a very different experience than reading, and it's somewhere between that and maybe a movie. But, you know, problems with movie adaptations is they're usually cut and the audiobook is not. So anyway, if you're interested in audible.com, head over there. I'm going to give you a URL to go to, and basically that lets you get a free book of your choice. So if you head over to audiblepodcast.com/AOP, that is audiblepodcast.com/AOP, sign up for their service. You'll have 30 days to figure out if it's something you like or not. And if you don't, you can cancel at any time, no hard feelings, and that first book is yours to keep, absolutely free. They got a ton of titles over there, and go check them out. I think they're wonderful. Anyway, guys, thank you again for watching. This is a really kind of special trip for me because we're doing the second phase of the Harold Feinstein documentary, and sometimes I wonder what the heck I've gotten into with this full thing, because there is no budget for this. Everything is out of pocket. This trip is not paid for by anything. It's just, you know, when I do sponsors in the show, when I get help from you guys, and, you know, just what I make doing the show. So this is really a labor of love, and sometimes I get into these things and I think, what the heck have I done? But, you know, being able to use the YouTube space, being able to get help from you guys, it really it means a lot to me. It's pretty amazing that those resources are available, because really a couple years ago I couldn't have done this. To interview 4 people and get a studio space and insurance and all the things that you have to do to get that done just would not be feasible to do. So it'll be really interesting to see where we go with this documentary. That's about all I got for now. I've got to do some prep tonight, so I'm going to go get some food real quick, start the process of getting the video ready to upload and all that, and then you know, we'll pick up tomorrow. I'm going to do some behind the scenes while we're doing the interviews. I need to prep my interviews tonight so I know what we're going to talk about and what I can you know, kind of bring out of the folks that I'm going to have on there. So totally excited about it, and you guys stay posted and we'll have more to come. And then Monday I head home and I get out of recording in here, so that'll be great. Anyway, guys, I want to thank you once again for watching The Art of Photography. If you like this video, remember to subscribe, and that way you'll stay up to date with all the latest and greatest, especially right now since we're doing so many videos, because we've got this project we're working on. And follow us on social, and if you like this video, remember to hit the thumbs up and share it with your friends. Anyway, once again, everybody, this has been another episode of The Art of Photography. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Later.